it's maybe, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, it's maybe better to be doing these interviews via Zoom after people watch this, because I don't think anybody's going to want to be in a room with me for a while.
You obviously did such an incredible job executing the many layers of Duntsch. What was the trick for you to successfully doing that? Because I would assume when playing someone that's so dark, it is hard to have that, bring out that human side.
I guess the first hardest part was just to recognize that he's human. You know, like I think everybody, my initial reaction was to just stand in judgment of him and the outcomes and the evil and the pain that he caused to so many people. So it took me a second to get to the place of like not wanting an easy why, right? Like if he was just a psychopath, everything would be so simple. You'd be like, oh, well, he's a psychopath. He does psychopathic things. But it's actually much more complicated to admit that he was a human, deeply, fundamentally flawed human being, and then get into the place of like, well, okay, so if he's a person with feelings and desires and motivations and all the things that go into making us people, how does he see himself? And then as I started to like get my own judgment out of the way, I was able to start to walk in his shoes.
Do you feel like you're now interested in more of these kind of heavier roles that are the bad guy? Do you enjoy playing the bad guy?
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this role. But again, it's not so much, it wasn't really just that he was the bad guy that was so compelling to me about this guy, because I've had opportunities to play bad guys before or villains before, and usually villains are very two-dimensional, right? They're the bad guy, so you know what they're all about. In this one, what was so compelling to me was that Patrick chose to tell the vast majority of the story through the bad guy's eyes. You very rarely do that, unless he's an anti-hero where there's some redemptive thing about him. There's nothing redemptive about this man. Like, we go down this journey, we tell you how he came to be, we introduce you to his family, his loves, his life, everything about him. And the end is he's awful, right? There's no redemptive portion of his story. And I found that take really, really compelling. So would I play a bad guy again? Absolutely. But you know, I'm hopefully, I think I'm in this wonderful portion of my career now where like I'm at the age where I'm at the age where the best roles for men are. And we are in an era where the best roles for men, frankly, are in streaming or television or whatever we want to call it, which is where I do most of my work. So bully for me. So yeah, I would love, I've been in a very nice place for the last like 6 or 7 years of finally getting to work on things that exclusively work on things that I'm really passionate about. So I hope to be able to continue that.